At this point, it's clear that Drake cares about only one thing: revenge. Nothing else seems to matter right now. No matter how far he falls, he just can't help but claw at Kendrick Lamar's throne. Even now, with Kendrick firmly at the top, breaking records, leveling up the game, and making everyone else look like amateurs, Drake is still out here plotting his next move, but this time it feels different. See, we're well into an era where K.Dot has taken control of everything, from paperwork to post-production. This man is the director, producer, and star of his own show. He's not just making hits, he's shaping the entire culture. Meanwhile, Drake and his little entourage are trying every trick in the book to push themselves back to the forefront. But the way they're going about it, it's desperate, it's loud. It's like they're trying to drown out the reality that Kendrick is the one running the game now. So here's the question: can Drake's latest scheme actually shift the balance, or is he just setting himself up for another colossal L? Because with the way he and his boys are moving right now, it's clear they're looking to cause some serious trouble. There's a lot to unpack here, schemes and plots that you could never imagine. So click on that subscribe button and stick around as we break it all down. Right now, hip-hop is at a crossroads. On one side, you've got artists like Kendrick Lamar doing the most, from pushing the boundaries of what's possible for a rapper in the mainstream to elevating the genre to new heights. He's doing it all. Thanks to K.Dot setting new standards, hip-hop's finally coming back to the level it used to be. But the most beautiful part about it all is that he's not doing all these from the shadows. He's right in the thick of it, and in doing that, he has elevated his art to a whole new level. You don't have to be a K.Dot fan to acknowledge the fact that he's the hottest in the game right now, and there's no close second. And then there's Drake on the other side doing everything to tear it all down. The self-proclaimed king of hip-hop, whose recent projects have been met with lukewarm reactions, is busy scheming the downfall of someone who's winning rather than putting all that energy into getting back to his musical best. But you know what's intriguing? He's no longer fighting this battle alone. He's got Kanye West supporting him on his quest now. In case you don't know, Ye and Drake haven't really seen eye to eye for years now, but I guess desperate times call for desperate alliances. They're clearly not the best of friends, but they've got a common enemy in K.Dot, and they are ready to go all out. And why is that? Well, because Kendrick represents everything they've been trying to be, but just can't reach. Authentic, untouchable, a living legend in real time. Now, before you come for me, I know there's no denying that Drake and Ye are living legends too, but their egos are too massive to respectfully accept second and third place. K.Dot being number one is a hard pill for them to swallow, which is crazy considering the fact that they've enjoyed their time being number one too. What's really wild is how transparent it all is. These guys are trying to manufacture a movement, pushing this narrative that Kendrick's somehow the villain in their story. Ye's been going on rants about how Kendrick's a so-called puppet for the industry, while Drake is low-key fueling that fire behind the scenes. It's a coordinated effort to shift public perception, to make it seem like Kendrick's success is somehow manufactured, while they're the real victims of the system. And guess who's cheerleading this whole mess? DJ Akademiks, Drake's loudest and most obnoxious hype man, who's conveniently lining up an interview with Ye to give these conspiracy theories an even bigger platform. They know what they're doing. They're playing the media game, trying to drown out Kendrick's accomplishments with enough noise and controversy to make people second guess his legacy. But here's the crazy part. It's not even about the music anymore. They've realized they can't match Kendrick on a lyrical or artistic level, so they're trying to tear him down by attacking his credibility. It's not just desperate, it's embarrassing. If you've been following Akademiks for a while, you know he's a willing puppet and the perfect mouthpiece for Drake and his minions. He made his career out of hyping up drama and spinning narratives to fit his favorites, and right now he's all in on the Takedown Kendrick movement. In fact, he's been a part of that movement for a while now. This guy's gone beyond being just a commentator to Drake's personal megaphone at this point. Every wild theory, every desperate attempt to discredit Kendrick's success, Akademiks is right there to amplify it. And just when you think it couldn't get any more calculated, he lines up an exclusive interview with none other than Ye himself. You can already guess how that's going to go. An hour or more of Ye ranting about how Kendrick's some industry puppet, while Akademiks nods along like a hype man at a rap battle. There's no doubt Akademiks will try to feed on Ye's chaotic energy and get him to say something controversial enough to spark a firestorm on social media. Trust me, he will milk that interview for what it's worth. Every quote will become a headline and every outburst will become a viral moment just to keep Drake's agenda front and center. And in case you don't already know, this media push isn't about proving anything real. It's about drowning out the reality that Kendrick's been winning on every front. They can't match his records. They can't touch his lyricism, so what do? They manufacture controversy using platforms like Akademiks to spread the idea that Kendrick's somehow part of some industry scheme to hold them back. It's not just desperate, it's pathetic. Drake and Ye are so obsessed with their own sense of loss that they're willing to weaponize the media to fabricate a false narrative, but real fans see through it. Kendrick's success isn't some industry conspiracy, it's the result of years of hard work, talent, and dedication, so no amount of loudmouth hype from Akademiks is going to change that. And while Drake and Ye are busy orchestrating their little smear campaign, Kendrick's out here doing what he always does, putting out real impactful music that speaks for itself and minding his own damn business. You'd think they'd learn by now that you can't out-hype true artistry, but instead they're just digging themselves deeper into the hole they made. When you really break it down, you'll realize it all boils down to one thing: jealousy. These guys just can't handle the fact that K.Dot managed to stay authentic while taking over the game. No unnecessary shenanigans or controversies, just pure artistry. Kanye and Drake watched Kendrick rise from being an underground prodigy to a mainstream powerhouse without ever losing his credibility, and that's something neither of them can claim. What's annoying about all this is the way other personalities in the media space will jump on this crazy narrative just because they don't like what Kendrick stands for. They'd spread the propaganda and spin the narrative just to get Drake back on top. And the scary part is that with Kanye in the mix and some other streamers, there's no limit to how far they'll go. It's crazy that two of the biggest names in the culture are the ones championing this madness. Not only is it embarrassing for them, but it's a bad look for the culture. But you know what's really wild about all this? Drake has always wanted to be respected as both a hitmaker and a lyrical genius, but Kendrick's very existence exposes the gap between ambition and authenticity. The constant comparison from their early days in the industry has always put Drake at a disadvantage. While people respected the fact that he was a hitmaker, they never gave him the crown as a top lyrical genius. Drake could never figure out how Kendrick managed to acquire immense commercial success while still making music that the mainstream views as controversial. But what I can't figure out is any genuine reason why Ye would hate Kendrick. Well, he hates virtually everybody in the industry, but then you can't help but see this move for what it is. It's clear Ye is doing this to be in the conversation, to maintain any sort of relevance. This is not the first time he's picked on an artist, and it probably won't be the last. Kanye's obsession with being seen as a genius is no secret, but Kendrick's success serves as a constant reminder of what happens when talent meets integrity. But still, I just can't seem to figure out why he feels threatened by Kendrick. He's had his time at the top, and he enjoyed it. Why not let K.Dot do the same too? Now you see why these two are teaming up. It's not about strategy, it's about survival. While Kanye has achieved everything there is to achieve at the top of the game and doesn't really need to do much music-wise, Drake is still very much in the game. But rather than focus on evolving his artistry and use it to fight back for a spot honorably, he's spending all his energy trying to tear Kendrick down. Whether they like it or not, the reality is Kendrick's not just popular because he's talented. He's respected because he's genuine. His music doesn't pander, and it doesn't shy away from uncomfortable truths. You'll agree that Ye used to be like that too, and now you can't even make sense of what he does these days. The desperation is real, and it's showing more than they realize. Fans can see it, the industry can see it, and Kendrick? He's just standing there, unfazed, doing what he's always done, creating art that lasts. The chances of him responding to all these shenanigans are really slim. The king rarely responds to all these empty threats. If Ye and Drake really want to play, they should get in the studio and fire their shots the old way, through music. Kung Fu Kenny might respond to that then. But the truth is, this whole mess isn't just about Drake, Ye, and Kendrick, it's about how it affects hip-hop culture as a whole. When two of the biggest names in the game start pulling their desperate attention-grabbing stunts just to stay relevant, it sends a message, and that message is that clout matters more than art. It's like they're willing to drag the entire genre through the mud just to save their own reputations. The division is already starting to show. On one side, you have diehard Drake and Ye fans clinging to this manufactured beef, buying into the idea that Kendrick's success must be some kind of industry conspiracy. On the other side, you've got Kendrick's supporters and even neutral hip-hop heads who are just exhausted by the pettiness and desperate narratives being pushed. It's creating this weird, uncomfortable split where the culture feels less about celebrating the art and more about choosing sides in some pointless, ego-driven battle. And that's the problem. Drake and Ye are too blinded by their own insecurity to see the damage they're doing. They're fueling this toxic environment where being loud and controversial matters more than being real. It's like they're trying to rewrite the rules of what hip-hop should be. Less about bars, creativity, and storytelling, and more about noise and controversy. But Kendrick, he's never going to play that game. He will always stay true to the roots of hip-hop, elevating the culture instead of dragging it down. He is proof that you don't need to manufacture drama or fake beef to stay relevant. You just need to keep it real and make impactful music that resonates with people. It's really that simple. One thing these two seem to be forgetting is that even though they're legends, their legacies could still get pretty much messed up, especially Drake's. The fact that he's willing to align with Kanye and risk what's left of his reputation to satisfy his thirst for vengeance is beyond me. They really want to turn hip-hop into a circus where all we talk about is allegations and unending drama. That's why no matter how hard they push, they're never going to bring Kendrick down. His legacy isn't built on gimmicks and controversy, it's built on skill, authenticity, and raw talent, something Drake could never relate to. So there you have it. Drake and Ye are teaming up, not out of loyalty or friendship, but out of desperation. They're watching Kendrick Lamar redefine what it means to be a true artist in hip-hop while they're stuck in a spiral of clout chasing and media manipulation. It's almost tragic how their attempts to undermine Kendrick only make them look weaker by the day. From desperate alliances to loudmouth hype men like DJ Akademiks, the whole campaign reeks of insecurity. They're so caught up in tearing Kendrick down that they've forgotten the one thing that actually matters, which is making great music. Meanwhile, Kendrick's just out here staying true to himself, delivering powerful, impactful records that remind everyone why he's at the top. But what do you think about this never-ending feud between Drake and Kendrick? Do you think Drake's latest move will actually change anything, or is he just digging himself a deeper hole? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth analysis of the biggest stories in hip-hop, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep bringing you the real stories behind the music. And hey, if you're interested in seeing how Drake just made his rap legacy look even worse, check out our next video right here. You definitely don't want to miss it.